Madeline. I'm a holistic nutrition consultant and the author of a blog called grassfedgirl.com. I've been healing myself with an ancestral diet for over 10 years, and I've been using a carnivore diet for 4 years to heal my hashimotos. It has been an amazing journey, and I want to share everything that I've learned with you here on my channel. If this sounds like something you're interested in, please subscribe, share with a friend, leave a comment down below. It really helps out the channel to get the word out that meat is medicine. I'm so excited about today's topic. It is 5 reasons the keto diet isn't working for you. I did keto for many years. In between, I kind of did paleo to start, then I transitioned more to keto because I realized that I couldn't handle carbs. And now I'm doing carnivore for 4 years, and it's been the most helpful with helping my Hashimoto's symptoms, which is an autoimmune thyroid disease. So I have a lot of experience with keto, and I'll tell you my opinion. Quickly leave a comment down below if you like keto or carnivore better, and let me know why. Don't get me wrong, I think keto is a great diet, and for some people who are more like into moderation, they can probably handle it. And it has a lot of good benefits of regulating your blood sugar and helps you get more good fats into your diet. Keto also helps you eliminate carbs, which is a big problem with type 2 diabetes. So it is a wonderful diet. I actually think people should start out on a keto diet rather than a carnivore diet because it can be really hard to eliminate so many foods at once if you're not used to it. And keto is kind of a jumping off point to carnivore. So it is a good place to start, but it has 5 limitations that we're going to talk about now. The first one is one everybody knows, Keto Treats. I was a big victim of this. I ate so many keto treats and I thought, well, you know, it's better than eating sugar. And yeah, it's better, but the problem is that it's very calorically dense when you have, you know, nut butters, almond flour, all this stuff. And it's very hard on your digestion. And, you know, you're eating thousands of calories without even realizing it. And you're very not full. You know, you're not satisfied by keto treats. I can eat, you know, 100 peanut butter balls and I'm still hungry, you know. So if you can eat 1 peanut butter ball from the freezer, you know, fat bomb, and you're satisfied and you're like, that was my great dessert. But for me, I would eat the whole recipe and then, you know, go out and buy more for the next day. So definitely the keto treats got way out of hand because even that sweet taste was just too much for me. And I don't do well digesting nuts and almonds and all that stuff. So if you don't have any digestive problems and you can just say 1 treat, great, you know, do it up, but wasn't right for me. And on that note, you know, there's more and more keto products marketed to keto dieters and people desperate to lose weight. And, you know, a lot of them are kind of marginally healthy, using, you know, lots of processed ingredients. And we'll talk more about those ingredients later, but definitely, you know, don't fall for just that keto label. Look at it and, do not just fall for, oh, it says keto on the front. Turn it over, read it, do the math, definitely figure out how many carbs per serving and all that kind of stuff. They're not always good for you just because it says keto. Stay tuned all the way to the end because we're going to have a number 6 bonus limitation of the keto diet. Number 2 is anti-nutrients. Now, I never heard much about anti-nutrients on the keto diet. I was on it for many years. I knew all the top leaders in the keto space and nobody ever talked about anti-nutrients. It was just like, eat whatever as long as there's no carbs in it. And I think for people like me with autoimmune disease, the anti-nutrients piece was really big, and I did not feel good until I got those anti-nutrients out of my body and I was able to heal my gut and all that stuff. So some of the big anti-nutrients I was eating was oxalates. So if you eat a lot of spinach, if you eat a lot of green smoothies, I was eating a lot of vegetables, salads, and these were really, almonds have a lot of oxalates, and these can cause little crystals in your skin. They can cause kidney stones. It's really a mess with oxalates, and you know, they can accumulate over time, even raspberries. So a lot of keto foods have oxalates, and some people are very sensitive to them. And some people are sensitive to them and they don't even know. So definitely take a look at oxalates. There's so many more anti-nutrients, especially in nuts and seeds like flax seeds. There's phytoestrogens. I mean, you just name it. There is so many things in plants that are defense chemicals that don't want us to eat them. Another big one is lectins and phytates. Traditional societies would soak and sprout their grains and beans and seeds and nuts to eliminate these. But, in modern times, we don't do that, and we just eat them straight from the jar, and it's a very hard thing to digest. So definitely take a look at lectins, phytates, oxalates. There's many more, but we got to cut it short so we can get to number 3. The next one is counting macros. It's very encouraged. I've seen on keto diet websites to put in your macro calculator, figure out your macros, and I just find that very annoying. And as somebody who was on diets from a very young age, at age 6, I was at Weight Watchers with my parents. It's very to use the Gen Z word, triggering for me to see macros. And so I don't want to count macros anymore. Anything that I have to do that with, I'm just turned off by it. So that is one reason I was so drawn to the carnivore diet. It was no counting, and I was just like, this is amazing. I don't want to count anymore. I'm so tired. And, counting makes me want to eat more and just obsess over my food. So I just don't think counting macros is a sustainable plan for the long term. I think you could do that for a week or month, but over the seasons, over Christmas, over so many times that are going to be challenging to stay on your goals, it's just not going to be sustainable to count macros. Number 4 is seed oil. So if you're not familiar with seed oils, that's just kind of the term that they use on Instagram for them. It's just a combination of corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, also sunflower oil, which sounds very benign, but it's actually really rancid and volatile, unstable oil when you cook with it and just when you eat it, because they use all these deodorizers and they heat it to very high heats. These things don't have a lot of fat in them, and so they have to be extracted with hexane and all kinds of things in factories. They're just not natural. Like, think about an olive oil. It's olives, and it's just, you smush it out, it comes out. Cold pressed olive oil, it's a natural thing to eat, and it doesn't have to be made in a lab or anything like that. It doesn't have to have bleach used on it. So think about something that's been used for thousands and millions of years, like animal fat, beef tallow, lard. These kinds of things are much more natural, and the body will use them in a way that goes with our normal processes. So these fats can be very inflammatory. The sunflower, corn, safflower, all of those kinds of things are very inflammatory. Another one's rice bran oil. Another one is grape seed oil. People think grape seed oil is this magical thing. Definitely just avoid all of these. They're very high in omega-6, which pushes the inflammation higher in our bodies, and it messes up the delicate balance with omega-3s, which is our antioxidants. So definitely avoid these oils. They are very bad for us. Sometimes they smell when you open them. When trying to remember which oils are safe, just think, did my great-great-grandmother eat this? Did she have it on her shelf? If not, then probably don't eat it. Crisco and that kind of thing was introduced in the Second World War in order to go into battle without refrigeration. And then afterwards, it was marketed vastly to the regular housewife. And then it became common to eat everywhere because it was cheaper than butter. And, it didn't have to be refrigerated, and it stayed good for a long time. But it was all just marketing, and it used to be used in industrial purposes, these kinds of oils. So they just have no place in our modern diet, and you'll be much healthier if you cut these things out. Another thing that I really just messed up on keto with was not enough protein. So I followed the macros. I was trying to eat 80% fat. And guess what? I was starving all the time. And I'm somebody who can really eat a lot of fat. I don't have a problem with loose stools or anything like that. It's probably the opposite. But I would just eat and eat fat, and I would never lose any weight because I didn't eat enough protein, and I was starving all the time. So I would try to eat a little 4-ounce patty, and I was just starving. And then I would eat, tons and tons of butter or peanut butter or whatever was high fat, chocolate, things like that. Or I would add a ton of butter to my broccoli or something like that, and I just was always starving because I didn't eat enough protein because I was trying to hit those macros. Going back to the macros of number 3, just a big mess when I didn't have enough protein. So I'm much more like a hangry person. So I was always hangry on keto. I mean, it was better than when I was following a standard American diet, but by limiting protein, I was just not getting enough food. I was impeding my healing process. And, carnivore works so much better for me because I can eat as much protein as I want, and I don't have to worry about hitting some certain macros. My macros vary between 60% to 80% fat, but it's just that I'm just not worried about limiting protein, and I think it's helped my healing process so much better and so much faster. Okay, now, ba-da-ba-boom ching, is number 6 is net carbs. I think that net carbs are a big disaster. You end up eating a lot more carbs than you should, and a lot of it's processed like sugar alcohols. You're doing math all day. I think it's just overly intensifying the focus on junk foods and things like that. So definitely avoid doing net carbs. My husband did total carbs for a while, and he was much more successful when he did that in keto. I would kind of vacillate between net carbs and total carbs, but I always ate way too many carbs with my vegetables. I thought that vegetables were kind of a free food, and even though I knew they weren't, but I just didn't feel like counting them. And so I would eat way too many carbs with vegetables. I would also eat a lot of sugar alcohols and that kind of stuff. And so, my carbs were pretty high, but I wasn't having success, and it was low protein, and, basically did everything wrong on keto. So tell me your keto mistakes down below. So I just love carnivore because there's no counting and you don't have to worry about your carbs. There's some carbs naturally in shellfish or liver, there's raw milk if you can tolerate that. But if you're wanting to lose weight, you probably want to avoid a lot of dairy. I wrote an ebook all about how to do the carnivore diet. It is right here at www.carnivore30.info. I'll put the link right here and down below. If you use the code CARNI30, it will be good till the end of April. So I hope you're having a great day. Let me know your keto mistakes down below and what you think of my list. Did I leave anything off? Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.